welcome to the 11th episode of the Fandom Flux podcast. What you were just now listening to was our brand new intro music cue celebration. Everybody, celebrate. Woo!
Yay! Hooray!
Yay! I don't even remember what it sounds like because I already listened to it a while ago. But, yes, we have... Oh, fuck, I completely forgot to get the guy's information from Zero. Alright, Zero, who's this guy and how awesome is he?
He's really awesome. His name is... I guess I'll plug his name and his YouTube channel. His name is Andrew Machado. His YouTube channel is Zorgox13, Z-O-R-G-O-X-13. Very talented guy. Won the talent show. Man, he's awesome. Thanks so much.
Okay. Andrew Machado, you are a boss. You are a music deity for podcasters, I guess. It's a very small pantheon, but, you know, still.
It is one, so...
Yeah. You have reached godhood, no matter how tiny and insignificant you still are. But you're awesome, so that's okay.
Yeah. Hey, he picked Fandom Flux. That's a pretty big dice roll, if you ask me.
I guess. Yeah, well, I guess he knows people, so, you know, he had an in. Zero, so...
Okay. I could be on your podcast?
Ethan said something again. Sometimes I wish he'd stop doing that. Okay.
I love you too, Casey.
Yeah, bite me. Yeah, so, I'm once again your host, KCW. With me, we have Ethan.
Hey, Carl.
What?
What?
That's your real name, isn't it?
This is getting cut. Kenchi.
Tonight, Internet. That oh-so-handsome scamp Kenchi 608 has arrived and raised the sexuality level from orange to red. Please dress accordingly to listen to this podcast.
Even though you lost a bet.
I'll talk about that later.
Dude, Ethan, you're just a fucking downer today. All right, Zero.
It's been a downer week for me, honestly.
Yeah, Zero.
Hello, I am Zero, and I am here. Rejoice.
Yay, an ordinary intro. All right, Slicer.
Once again, I feel very ordinary. Hello.
You're welcome.
All right. So, first topic, as always, what we doing. Kenchi, starting with you.
All right, I haven't done anything like really personally that interesting this week. My hand's basically healed mostly, but aside from that, Kmart got PlayStations in Thursday. Want to guess how many we got?
2.
4.
3.
4
wow,
PlayStations.
Wow.
So for the last few days, every 5 minutes we get a call like, "Hey, do you have the PlayStation 4s in?" I had to answer, "We don't have them in," and they get all mad. So eventually we had to be like, "Okay, let me go check," and we just stand there for like 10 seconds instead of actually going to check because we don't have any. We're not getting any until who knows when.
You could just say we got a grand total of 4 in when we ordered them, and obviously they're all gone.
Yeah,
I think
I'd say that. Yeah,
I think the better reply is, why are you asking for game systems at a Kmart?
We can't say that either. So I just like, oh, yeah, let me go check, and I'll just stand there for like 10 to 15 seconds and come back, and then just pick the phone back and be like, yeah, we're out. We just ran out.
Just offer them a PS3 instead.
We don't even have the... Wait, we do have some of those in. We don't have many of those in. But anyway, another thing that happened was last night was the UFC 167 pay-per-view, headlined by welterweight champion George St. Pierre defending against Johnny Hendricks. And GSP got his ass kicked, but was not defeated. It went to a decision that Johnny Hendricks lost, which means I lost money. Johnny Hendricks won that fight. All right, I put 50 on it, and I forgot the odds on Hendricks, but the odds would have been great for a payout. So I'm very upset. And every single professional fighter, every single person that actually watches fighting, like every person that I've talked to thinks he won the fight, Johnny Hendricks. So he kind of got screwed. Damn Nevada State Athletic Commission.
Ouch. The only time I've done like sports betting was on the Super Bowl last time. The Ravens, and they fucking won it for me. Like every bet I put down, so that was great. I won like 250 quid. That was brilliant.
I was happy.
Sorry to rub it in, but
I have horrible luck with bets, so I don't do it.
I usually do well because I'm really good at picking when a guy's going to be on or not. And Johnny Hendricks was on that night. If you'd watched the fight, he was kicking GSP's ass. And he lost 3 rounds to 2, apparently. I can see how GSP won the 5th round, probably the 3rd. And the round that everyone says is the judges gave him that gave him the fight was the 1st round. He didn't win the 1st round at all. And that was my weekend.
Is there an official uproar, or is it just fans that are pissed?
It's kind of both, because even Dana White, who owns UFC, said Johnny Hendricks won that fight. But he has no power over who wins the fights or anything. It's like judge. It's like in Nevada State Athletic Commission or wherever they're holding fights at the time will appoint judges, officially licensed judges to do these things. And same thing with like boxing. Boxing used to have like problems with their decisions too. And it's the 3rd time in like 3 months that I've seen a main event level match end like that. And it's kind of annoying. So that was my weekend.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
All right. Zero, we'll go with you next.
All right, so I had a pretty busy week. First off, Ethan, I started watching Kill la Kill.
What do you think?
I caught up with all the episodes. It's fun.
I don't know.
Mako is my favorite character.
I don't know. There's a few things that I kind of disagree with on certain aspects, but overall, I think it's nice for just like a silly, fun anime.
Yeah. I wasn't going in there to analyze it or anything. I was just like, might as well check it out.
I don't know.
It was entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes when I'm watching something, my brain will kind of work on 2 different levels, like the level that enjoys it and then the level that kind of analyzes it as I enjoy it. And sometimes one wins out over the other, and most of the times it's the critical one. So a lot of the times I'll end up like being really acidic towards the show, even if I really like it.
Yeah, I turned off the analyzing part pretty quickly, especially considering the fact that I was in theater and film class, so I can't watch movies or TV anymore without analyzing them. So I have to shut that off.
It took me a while, but I basically shut it off after she turned her scissors into a tennis racket and won using a tennis racket as a weapon.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. It's not working, so just use your sword, okay? Your scissors. Or your half scissor. Also, I uploaded my new story, Superhuman, which Kenchi pushed me into. Or rather, I was going to write it, but Kenchi made sure I did. And now I'm actually getting a lot of good ideas for it. I basically, no matter which way the whole new Krillin and Bulma team go to get their Dragon Ball, there's going to be a good storyline there.
You're welcome. You're welcome for the sleepless nights you're going to have, or the random thoughts trains that are going to derail when you think of that story.
Oh, man. And I'll have 9 stories. Oh. I am only updating like half of them, but still. 9 stories.
Yeah.
Let's see. This week I Oh, okay. But this week there was a potluck at my work, and so KFC makes turkeys, right?
I didn't know that.
I know that now.
No.
They will deep fry turkeys, and
that sounds incredible.
People will reserve them in advance and spend like $60 to get one of these turkeys.
Whoa.
America.
Right?
Yeah, America.
So
I'm just like picturing a turkey, but with like the flaky KFC skin.
No, it's not. It's not like. No, it's deep fried, but it's not like floured or breaded or anything.
Yeah.
And I can talk about that. That's a thing everybody should know. But it's really good. Like, my boss decided to make it for the first time, And so he was getting, like, text messages from his boss telling him how to make it as we were doing it. And it turned out so good. Oh, man, I licked, I pretty much, like, cleaned the leg. You know, just grabbed the big turkey leg. I'm just going to clean this to the bone.
Yeah, I do that with the chicken anyway, so I can't imagine what I'd be like with the turkey. I'd probably end up eating the bone.
Yeah, and this week...
would end up happening by accident.
You can do that. There's calcium in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eat bones. Get your calcium. God damn it, now we are the internet box. Alright,
I shall consume these bones to gain their powers.
Yeah. Or I suppose you could eat kids' teeth. Anyway, in jokes. We're moving on. Zero. You were... Yeah,
this
turkey.
week was officially my brother's official 14th birthday was on Tuesday. And I was supposed to, like, only work till 8 that day. But what happened was one of the guys was quitting, so he was supposed to work the final week as the cook, right? He didn't.
Yeah.
So that meant I had to stay after, and I had to cook. Meaning I missed out on my brother's birthday.
That's...
Because he didn't show up. He was supposed to work the final week. But, you know, it was a bit disappointing. I was a bit angry for a little while. Because that's just... I never really liked the guy. I never liked him.
Right.
Yeah, I can
Well,
edit
us now.
Yeah, hasn't given you a reason to at this point, has he?
So yeah, I've been writing. I got one update ready. I'm going to get the other 2 updates ready, or probably just maybe even upload it today. But it's a update for a story I haven't updated in 7 months. Time sure flies. Yeah, just tell yourself you're going to update it tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and you're like, I'll update it tomorrow.
Check out which one that would be. But yeah, I've been there for several months in a row, so yeah.
I've got like actually I've got could I it hasn't been updated since April 22nd.
There are 3 of those. So it could be any one of 3 stories, and I haven't read any of them, unfortunately. So, oh well.
Well, one of them I'm not. Well, I think 2 of them I'm not updating anymore. Or one of them I'm not going to update anymore because I don't like it. The other one is that one shot which got ridiculous amount of popularity. And I was like, I might turn it into a multi-shot if I feel like it. Really haven't felt like it. And the other one is the one I'm going to be updating. And people keep requesting. So I'm like, I'll do it.
Peer pressure.
Yeah. Okay, I can't think of anything else right now. So I might as well say, that's what I did for the week.
Slicer.
All right. Something happened earlier in the week that kind of turned me off of Fable stories and a lot of things in general. So I've been taking a break mostly.
Okay.
But I ordered 2 games, Infinite Undiscovery and Saints Row 1, and I am really impressed with Saints Row 1. I mean, it doesn't feel like a GTA recolor. It's a Saints Row game, definitely, and it's very well made, but it has this one really crippling problem that you can't buy ammo. You can buy the gun, and that's the only way to get ammo. So in order to get, like, 44 revolver ammo, you need to buy a new revolver, which is a whole $1,000. And I just finished the game, and I only have 60,000.
Wow.
Yeah. It didn't work out
pretty bad.
well.
I can totally picture like your guy just thinking that guns work like spare tires. You use up one, so you throw it out and then get another one out.
Yeah. Oh, man. So I got pretty used to using the first handgun, and I remembered that the SWAT officers that you get at 3 stars, they drop M16s. So I just went on a few police massacres, and I got max ammo. That worked out fairly well.
That's one way to do it, I suppose.
Yeah. Has anybody played Infinite Undiscovery? Okay,
nope.
yeah. It's a
I've heard of it.
strange game. I had only heard about it in passing because it's like either a launch title or it was early in the series or in the system's life, but it's a weird game. It's fun, I guess, but it's just a time waster mostly. And that's
so. What was this Fable thing that you were talking about?
I'd rather not go into.
Infinite Undiscovered. Oh, do I know this game? I don't know this game.
Were you traumatized?
Who?
Slicer.
It's a loss in the family. I mean, so I'd rather not go.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Right. Fair enough. Well,
isn't this a lovely episode of the Fandom Flux?
Yeah.
We'll move on from that and not make light of it because. All right, Ethan. There's stuff that you didn't want to talk about this week, but anything else?
Yeah, I'm just going to say this personally. This whole week has left me about as emotionally stable as the party manager of the Jamestown prom night. So I can probably, outside of what I want to talk about, I could probably sum up the week as. Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, what I want to talk about is I've just been kind of buying a whole bunch of stuff to kind of keep myself occupied while I sort this all out. I bought the next game of Song of Ice and Fire book. I bought a whole bunch of video games, and I bought this other book that seemed kind of interesting to me. And it was this book about like fairies and stuff, but I can't really go into it without spoiling it. And it just kind of piqued my interest because fairies were always one of my favorite mythological creatures. So, yeah. And I also recently sat down and listened to the entirety of The Wall by Pink Floyd again, which is a really good album.
Oh, okay. No, just another
brick in the wall.
Seriously, that's 5 seconds.
I have no problems with singing anymore. I looked up the legal thing.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to use the actual music for like 4 or 5 seconds, but if you're singing it yourself, you're fine, I think.
We don't need no education.
That one's actually not my favorite song.
Of course, it doesn't stop it being annoying, so please don't sing too often.
That one's actually not my favorite song. My favorite song might be... It's probably a tie between The Trial and Goodbye Blue Sky.
The Trial. I really like The Trial.
Yeah, especially when it's...
Taking my marbles away. Crazy. Over the rainbow, he is crazy.
Especially
really gone fishing.
Okay, that's enough.
Are we quite done?
Yeah, that's about enough of that.
Alright, anyway. It's especially
You guys love my singing voice.
If you sing again in the next 20 minutes, then I'm going to cut you from the call. Just saying.
Yeah.
I love you too, Casey.
Are we quite done? Alright. Anyway, I just want to go ahead and say, like, I apologize for anyone who listens that if I sound really down today, I have my excuses. But I'll try and power through.
Okay. As for me, what I've been doing I completely missed the perfect segue into that bloody video. When Zero was talking about cooking, God damn it. I missed it.
Wait, were we recording that?
Yeah, when he was talking about cooking turkey and I couldn't...
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. It's a sign. You shouldn't bring it up.
I should bring it up. It's awesome. So I've been watching this video all week, and it's awesome. It's a mashup of one of the songs from Lazy Town, the kids show, and Lil Jon. You know, the guy that says, yeah, all the time. Yeah, that's a great video, and I'm totally going to link it in the link up because it's amazing, and everyone should watch it. Just comedy value, it's amazing.
Please show them the Shining Time Station video I also brought up.
Okay, I'll have to make a note of it when we're done. Remind me when we're done recording. Aside from that, which did take up a surprising amount of my time, I'll be honest with you, I started watching and finished watching another anime called Kingdom. Anyone heard of it?
No.
No?
No.
All right.
Nope.
It's basically Chinese Warring States period and the rise of the Qin dynasty, I think it was. Yeah. So it's kind of a shonen military series. Very, very good. It's CG animated, a lot of it. so the character models are all CG, and having watched it, Ethan, I get a little bit of your complaints about using computer-generated animation.
Good.
A little bit.
Mm.
Because when it comes to like character interaction, just like talking and stuff like that, it doesn't work very well. But when it comes to battle scenes, and you got a lot of different characters all doing different things, then it works very, very well.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand if it's like a bunch of people, because that would be complete bullshit to do hand by hand. But if it's just like maybe two people sitting down doing, say, a transaction deal, or just like, you know, talking about lands and that kind of thing, you need subtleties that only hand-drawn animation can pick up on.
Yeah, the very first scene kind of almost put me off because it's just two characters walking, and it looks odd.
Yeah.
Because it's all CG, and
well, I mean,
almost put me off, but I'm glad it didn't, because it's a very, very good series, and I think people should watch it.
Yeah.
I also looked up whether there's any fan fiction for it, and I guess there isn't, because there's no section for it on fanfiction.net. But maybe that makes sense, because, I mean, it is, it's a retelling of the Warring States period in China.
Yeah, just read a history book.
200 BC, so I guess it's kind of an alternate history kind of thing.
There might be a few if you check the X-Overs section. Sometimes they're there if the anime
or you can
is
just like
small enough.
Google it and see if it's on any
maybe
if it's on any like under the radar sites.
Yeah, there's a few of those, I guess. Yeah, but it's a good series, and I think people should watch it. And maybe start writing for it, because the characters are interesting.
Another question about the animation: how stylized are the characters?
How stylized?
Like, are they pretty realistic, or are they kind of regular anime?
Some of them are very stylized. Well, there's a general in the Shin army called Wang Shi, I think it's pronounced. It's awkward because the Japanese have another pronunciation for it, but it's Oki in the Japanese pronunciation. And he's huge, as in like probably 10, 12 feet tall, bulky as hell, and he has lips that, like, the sweets that are shaped like lips?
Yeah.
They're huge and puffy and stuff like that. Yeah, they're like that. So, in parts, it's very, very stylized. In other parts, not so much.
Okay, because
it's quite realistic.
Because I found like the uncanny valley can kind of have an effect on whether you appreciate the animation as well.
Yeah. Again, like third or fourth time I've said this, but it's a good series and people should watch it.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I started playing...
like, to kind of go on the topic of, like, sort of medieval-style animes, do you guys remember reading about the console war anime that would literally make it a console war, like feudal Japan style?
Oh, that would be, like, I don't even know, man.
I've forgotten what that's called. Yeah. There was a series of games for it as well.
Yeah, where, like, Sonic the Hedgehog was the main, like, samurai soldier.
I've not actually seen anything from it, so I don't know.
I only remember hearing about it, and I only Googled about it to confirm that it wasn't a joke.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, what else I've been doing is I finally started playing some of the Steam games I bought. The big Halloween sale that they had, where there was all sorts of stuff that was really, really cheap. Yeah, I got Fallout New Vegas, the complete edition, for like £4. So that was lovely. Started playing it. It's pretty damn amazing. It might actually be better than the original Fallout 3. Call it original, but so
I would
yeah,
argue
that's
there,
fun.
but okay.
No, that's a good game. The actual Fallout 3 was very... it felt very Oblivion. As in, you could do everything by just fighting through it. And there was no option of just talking your way out of things, ever. And you can apparently do that a lot in New Vegas, from what I've seen so far. So, I think it's quite good. Aside from that, I think that's it. Maybe. I might remember something at some point. But, yeah. And we've lost the topic list because people have been talking. So, next
is
we have
Gear.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to bring this up because A, Ground Zeroes is coming out next year.
Yeah.
And C, I just finished, or B, I just finished. It's, like I said, it's been a long week. It's a lot of stuff. And anyway, B, I just finished Peace Walker, and I kind of want to talk about that because it's a unique experience, I'll say that. For even a Metal Gear game, it does a lot differently. Okay, so is anyone here besides me knowledgeable on Peace Walker?
Yo.
Oh, yeah, that's right. All right, but anyway, King of Zero kind of wanted to hear about it a lot, so I'll just kind of set it up like this. You know how a lot of the Metal Gear games kind of start off at least decently grounded before all the crazy comes in?
Mm-hmm.
This one kind of picks up speed really fast. Because it starts off fairly simple with, like, Big Boss is just beginning to form, what's the name of their, like, something Sans Borders.
Frontier Sans...
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something like that.
Yeah, he's just building up his big super company of mercenaries to just be able to work anywhere, and he hasn't gone crazy yet. And it starts off with Steve Blum as a Russian guy with a prosthetic arm coming up to him and saying shit's going down in the land strip that connects North America and South America, and the CIA has discovered nukes there. Get your shit together and find out why there's nukes in the land strip.
You mean Central America?
Yeah.
There's a name.
Okay, well, I know that now. And so it starts off fairly simple as that, just a bunch of espionage in the jungles of Costa Rica and just kind of trying to figure out where all this is going to go. And boy, does it go. Because what happens is, eventually he infiltrates a secret lab that's built inside a Mayan temple. And in there he meets Dr. Strangelove, which is basically a bisexual 30-year-old girl who has created an AI, basically an AI pill that holds all of the boss's memories, which is going to pilot this big robot that's going to launch nukes on Costa Rica from this CIA agent or ex-agent called Hot Coldman. I wish I was making that up, but his name is Hot Coldman.
Best name in history, I think. Hot Coldman.
Dumbest name.
All these names fit.
I don't know. Carlos Danger was pretty good.
Yeah.
And strange. She's bisexual. Strange love.
Yeah. So yeah, strange love. Get it? And basically, it just kind of really gets weird really fast. And also a little stupid, if you ask me. But I think one of the dumbest things I remember learning about, probably actually came up in the Japanese edition of the game, where Kenchi, you remember the torture scene with Strangelove?
Yep.
In the Japanese edition, they weren't allowed to use stun rods because that would boost up the rating, but only in Japan.
So what did they use?
They used tickle rods.
That's really gay.
It's really dumb.
It's like, I mean, gay is in completely, like, how is that really torturous? Like, that's not...
And, like, Big Boss is laughing. And it's so dumb.
Big Boss doesn't laugh.
Get back
ever.
Here. Get back here so we can tickle you.
Actually, Big Boss believes in Santa Claus.
Tickle rods.
Yeah, but he's, like, deadly serious about it. Like, he doesn't laugh. He doesn't feel joy like humans feel joy.
He kind of does, because, I mean, like, he's kind of quirky, honestly, like, before he goes batshit.
I know, he's awesomely quirky, but it's more like a dry kind of quirk. There's no laughing.
He holds up people with bananas. I think that guy has a pretty decent sense of humor.
Tickle Rod. I wish you hadn't told me that.
I did.
Damn it.
And, yeah, but basically it's a very strange game.
You're never gonna I'm never gonna be able to do that scene over again without thinking of tickle rods.
Yeah, and I also watched, and the way I did it, it was a lot of co-op as well. So, like, I was able to get a friend in and do co-op, and that was really interesting because it was just us kind of doing really quirky stuff. Like, we kind of treated all of the Find Zadornov missions like a big game of hide and seek, considering how many times he's let out before you start to realize, hey, there might be a mole in the base. And it's, like, what was it, 7 times that you had to find Zadornov before you finally caught up with him?
Pretty much.
Though I will admit this, the last place you find him is pretty clever.
They have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah. Because I remember when I finally realized that was where I had to go, I kind of had a really just kind of sit down and mutter to myself about it moment, because the place you find him is actually in your base, for those who haven't played the game. Like, yeah, the place you find him is in your base in one of the training missions where you do sharpshooting. And the best part is...
Wait. Is he in your base killing your dudes?
No.
No,
But the best part... And he's laughing. He giggles. He's, like, giggling because of how masterful his art of hide and seek is. And it's hilarious because you just kind of hear him sort of like... and it's hilarious. But yeah, that was kind of my experience with Peace Walker, and I don't really... It was just a roller coaster, honestly. Especially the part where you can actually hire Hideo Kojima as one of your soldiers.
Yeah.
You guys should play one Metal Gear.
You go run the suicide attack.
Did you like it?
Whoa, I got really racist really quick.
That's one of his own jokes.
Hey.
Is it?
Hey.
Yeah. What?
Anybody ever play Revengeance?
Of course I played Revengeance.
Yeah, dude.
That game's
It's
so
awesome.
The soundtrack in that game is incredible. It makes it better than it is.
so good. I got the whole thing on iTunes.
So do I.
It's just so good.
Monsoon is the best.
I think Jetstream Sam's is the best. His song is the best.
Jetstream Sam had his fight was pretty difficult, actually. You know, You had to really work to beat him.
Though I will admit this, the ending was really dumb.
Yeah, it was. Like,
yeah.
when that game shot for
getting...
human... Go ahead.
I liked getting Jetstream Sam's sword at the end and then fighting him with it later.
Yeah, but I mean, just the fact that you're basically fighting Governor Hager from Final Fight, it's pretty stupid.
I was really disappointed in the last cutscene, like, because when Raiden was listing off the things that Armstrong did to piss him off, he didn't say, "And you kick my dog." I was very upset he didn't add that in.
But like, Blade Wolf doesn't really care about him, so why should he care about Blade Wolf?
I don't care. Blade Wolf is awesome.
I mean, yeah, he's cool, but he doesn't give a fuck about Raiden at all. With good reason, because Raiden's a huge dork.
He is.
I like it. You guys ever play the DLC for Revengeance, where you get to play as Jetstream Sam and Blade Wolf?
Yeah, I thought...
I got Jetstream Sam's.
The only cool part about Blade Wolf was his extra boss fight, honestly. Everything else was really straightforward.
His music was also
Jetstream
awesome.
Sam.
Yeah.
Jump.
All of the music was awesome. It's like not a single track is not awesome.
But I will say this. If they do make a sequel, I think it would be pretty cool if you could switch between characters.
That might make some missions impossible.
What do you mean?
Or not make any kind of sense.
Well, I mean, like, they did... Platinum Games did it before when they were still Clover Studios. They did Beautiful Joe 2, where you could switch between him and his girlfriend on the fly. I'm sure they could manage something like that.
Well, I mean, I guess that would work if you did it after you beat the whole game, so it's like you don't care about the story anymore. But, yeah, just playing through it the first time, you might play through it with the wrong character, and none of the dialogue is going to make any sense, and kind of funny, though.
Yeah. But I am kind of curious what they'll do if they do make a sequel, like what the direction would be, because this is kind of the farthest point in the Metal Gear games so far is Rising.
Zero, stop it. I don't want to read the lyrics to Monsoon's song. Alright, I think that kills the topic for now.
Yeah, so let's go on to our next one, which is PlayStation 4 got released yesterday.
Yeah, apparently a lot of them got
2 days ago. Yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
sucks. But the Wii U kind of had the same problem.
I guess.
I guess I'm glad I didn't
Still,
get mine
this was before it was even released that we found out that they were getting bricked. So, you know.
But
they got
no, you go first.
I mean, I heard, like, one dude got his, like, super early for some reason. And...
That was the Xbox.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah, they shut it down.
Oh, okay. That was the Xbox. Never mind then.
Yeah, the two best friends talked about it. They couldn't just let him keep using it, and his 24 hours ran out. It couldn't connect, so...
Yeah, that was Xbox. Never mind.
Yeah, the PS4, I mean, I think Kotaku had like 6 and couldn't get any of them to work. Well, they eventually got one to work, I think. But, yeah, it's a bad scene.
There was one guy who bought one just so he could shoot it
Christmas.
and use like one of those special slowdown cameras. So I feel he got a decent amount for his money if he just got a brick to shoot.
He really did, actually. That's kind of depressing, but... I don't know. My opinion is, if I get a new console, it's probably going to be a better computer. I think my console days are over. I'll always prefer a controller, but it's just, I'm not going to deal with the hassle.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to stick with a 360 controller connected to my computer for quite a while in the future. I mean, after the 360 is completely, like, out of date.
Yeah. You need your Nintendo games. You need the Wii U.
I don't need my Nintendo games. I was not a Nintendo kid. I don't have the nostalgia value that you guys do because you were, suckered in when you were children.
Yeah, he'll
Those are
totally
all
flip
my
his
Nintendo
shit
games.
when the Dreamcast 2 comes out.
Not really. I've also been disillusioned because those games were crap.
Yeah.
Well, ish.
Yeah.
Some of them were.
Hit
Some
and
of them
miss,
weren't.
hit and miss overall.
Jet Set Radio was awesome.
Yes.
As was Future. I still play that from time to time on the... There was a demo disc or something that you got with the Xbox, the original one.
There's that
And it came with Jet Set Radio Future on it. That was amazing.
Crazy Taxi was also pretty good.
Still works with 360. It's brilliant.
Crazy Taxi, I mean, it's a good arcade game.
It
The
is.
Bad Religion, man.
It was good back in the day, and now it's very, very dated.
It's just that it has such a short runtime because there's only one stage.
Mm.
I can hear the song in my head now, the same song over and over again in my head.
Does the whole game not work on the 360 or something, or why just the demo disc?
No, that's the full game.
What?
The full game comes on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was like Jet Set Radio Future and some...
Jet Set Radio Future and Sega Racing 2000 or something.
Yeah, Sega Racer.
And they both came on the same disc, and you could just put it into a 360 and it'd work just fine.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm going to say this about the PlayStation 4 as the same thing I said about the Wii U and the Kinect even, which is this. If you don't find anything really interesting and innovative to use these peripherals for, it's not going to be an interesting peripheral.
That's not fair. People aren't going to design for it when not everyone has it because it just immediately reduces the user base that you're going to be selling to.
But I mean,
and you don't want to do that from a marketing standpoint.
I mean, look at all the cool stuff that people did with the Kinect when it was still just like a new thing that no one knew what to do with. They would hack it and do all this really interesting stuff with it.
Yeah,
and
they were contracted to do that.
What do you... No. I'm talking...
Microsoft contracted them to do all these cute little things with the Kinect so that people would be interested in developing for it, but no one's going to want to develop for something that not everyone has. That's why a lot of the time, when it came to Microsoft developing, or like saying, when it came to dealing with developers, they always said you have to be able to play it without a hard drive. You had to be able to not install it because not everyone had a hard drive, because there was the arcade model that only had a 512 meg SD card or something.
So it wasn't a whole lot. I know that.
So that's probably why the Xbox One comes with Kinect now, so that developers will develop with that peripheral in mind while they're doing it. Because everyone will have one, so it'll be a feature that everyone can use rather than just a certain few.
Yeah. I suppose that also goes for the Wii U, since you get the tablet with it.
Exactly.
But I mean, there's still the thing that you have to think of interesting ways to use it as well. Because
there are interesting ways to use it, they just don't work very well yet.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing, though. You have to think up ways to use it. You can't just go, fuck it, and then...
Not to mention, considering how abrasive video game fans are as a whole when they're introduced to something new.
Nintendo, when they released the Wii U, they released Nintendo Land, which had a bunch of mini-games that showed off like the Wii U's capabilities.
Yeah.
And it was actually pretty interesting because of the fact that the person has that Wii U gamepad controller with a screen on it, they have their own personal screen. So screen peeking, not likely.
Yeah, I mean,
good when trying to hide it.
You can have possibly up to 5 people playing the same game at once.
Yeah, one
person. Those Mario U Let's Plays on Achievement Hunter were pretty amazing.
They are.
Just for the trolling possibilities.
Well, I was playing with my...
tapping on screen,
played
screwing
with all
everyone
my
over.
Friends, and one person, whoever got the gamepad, just screwed everyone over.
Yeah.
Even my friend who tried to help us ended up putting blocks in our way, so we ended up falling the pit.
I'm just interested in the new one coming out, the 3D one.
Oh, 3D World looks good. They have you hear about the 5th playable character that you can unlock?
Yeah,
Rosalina,
yeah. Sorry, confused her for the Calvin and Hobbes named character. But, I mean, I'm kind of really happy because I finally have really good evidence to say when people complain about how Super Mario Brothers doesn't do anything new. Because look at all the new stuff in the new game.
Yeah, I mean, oh my gosh, we're just going to add in tons of different mini-games. We're going to add in freaking the double cherry, which multiplies your character by 1 every time you adds another character, a version of you every time you get it. You can throw items and bombs and stuff. You can jump inside a shell and race around in it.
Yeah, I mean, I can finally, whenever someone says, oh, Mario hasn't done anything in years, bullshit, look at this.
Yeah, it's really, they've gone and made something. They've kind of brought back a lot of the inventiveness, they've been kind of needing,
Yeah.
Didn't really have that in, new Super Mario Brothers.
No.
Hey, we have Fire Flower. How about an Ice Flower?
Oh my god, guys, they're bringing the leaf back.
Oh, wow.
Let's just slap that shit on everything, because that's what everyone wants. Not, unique level design and interesting player characters and fun levels. No, they want the fucking leaf, guys.
Hey, we should bring back the feather. That'd be a great...
I actually like the feather. It was very fun.
Yeah, that's because it was the most broken power-up of all time.
Exactly.
Fly to the clouds and stay there.
I like the... Really, what they're doing with this new Mario game, though, is they've even got, little mini-game levels where you have to go through an area without jumping. Where you literally play as a toad that can't jump.
Oh, okay. It actually blocks the ability. It doesn't instantly
disqualify
you.
Is that what that
press A.
Perspective one that they showed around once was?
Yeah, that's a toad level where you can't jump. You just have to get everything while avoiding things, and you can't jump at all. You have to walk or run.
That'd be kind of interesting for just a time killer. Say you have 5 minutes, but don't really want to get invested in a real level, so you just dick around in a few of those.
Yeah, each character is different too. Toad is faster than all the other characters.
Well,
Luigi can jump higher.
They did that with Super Mario Brothers 2, the American version.
They brought that back instead of just saying, "Oh, these characters are pretty much the same."
Yeah.
Luigi now, since it is technically, I think it's still the year of Luigi. Luigi can jump higher than everybody else. Peach can float like she did. Rosalina has the Super Mario Galaxy spin thing that kills things and allows you to get extra jumping.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, and they said that, and this is just kind of speculation, but Suda51 has said that he's interested in making another No More Heroes specifically for the Wii U. And he said...
But how are you going to masturbate the sword with a big tablet?
You actually, like, swipe up and down it.
You can use Wiimotes.
Yeah, but he said...
But pretty much you're probably just going to be swiping up and down.
He said that if he does it, he doesn't want to focus on Travis because he felt the second one is the final one for Travis and basically his character arc.
His story's over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe... yeah. He's put out a phone app, like a social media phone app for it, which is kind of weird.
I kind of want to climb the ranks again, you know?
Well, I mean, it's not saying that we won't do that. It's just we're finished with Travis. It's time for a different character.
I want to see a different character climb to the top of the ranks and kill Travis.
That actually would be kind of interesting. Yeah, we could... What if that one girl from the second game is foreshadowing? Like, you play as her in the next game.
Isn't she dead?
What?
No, that one girl, no, he left her alive.
Yeah.
And I know he left her alive, but I thought the blonde killed her.
No. I don't remember that from the game.
I'd have to double check on that. I think that she might have killed her. I'll have to double check. But like just a character that maybe the character, like, I don't know, maybe idolized Travis, and Travis could be like final boss or secret boss or something.
I don't know if we'd be able to go for
probably a secret boss. I don't think they'd make it canon.
I can see Travis as a secret boss.
Yeah. I don't know if they do like an obsessive character again, because that was kind of Travis's thing.
Not necessarily obsessive, but, you know, maybe has like a poster of Travis. He's like, oh man, Travis, you're awesome. I'm gonna be awesome.
I don't know, because
just like have like a little hero type thing. Not necessarily obsessed, but
maybe it could be. Maybe it would be more like the disillusionment. Like he thinks of Travis as this really cool guy, but then he finds out he's like this apartment dwelling otaku whose only friend is his cat.
Yeah, that would be actually pretty good. You know, there's a lot you can do with the No More Heroes world. Like they even said that there's like there's a special whole nation ranking over in Asia. You know?
Because like they only talked about the one in America. There's I want to see the Assassination Association of Canada, honestly.
That'd be...
Oh, I guess it's time for me to assassinate you, eh? Oh, well, it's about time you got here.
Traveling the world would actually be a pretty cool idea, as in your character's trying to basically become the top of every single, like, region.
That would be, yeah.
That could be a series of games, but...
That doesn't seem like a Suda 51 kind of game, though.
Well, I mean, he did Killer is Dead, which is kind of a world hopper. Like, you pick specific missions to do in certain areas.
Or if they, like, unify all the, like, regional rankings into one big, you know, ranking.
Like a United Nations kind of thing?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Why are we talking about No More Heroes?
Because
Suda off topic.
And Suda 51 hinted that he might do one for the Wii U.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's also that game he's making for the PS4.
Which
okay.
Game?
I can't remember the name. I just know he's working on it.
Oh, man. So
I would really like to not spend another 20, 30-minute topic talking about Suda 51, considering we did that last week.
Let's go back to consoles.
So,
I'm getting a PS4 for Christmas. That's
my
plan is.
I kind of have more of a contingency plan with it, where I'm getting a Wii U for Christmas, and then I'm just going to save up for the PlayStation 4 when games start finally coming out for it that seem interesting to me.
I already have a Wii U, so yeah.
I'm getting a PlayStation 4 as soon as the person who I bet mails it to me.
That was part of the bet?
Yeah.
Wow.
I wish I had friends I could bet with stuff like that on. All of my friends are dirt poor, though, including me.
I'm probably going to get the one.
Don't call it that, please.
Okay. The X-Bone, if you prefer.
Why?
There you go.
I'm just curious.
It sounds
like,
stupid, but the one is like, that's just what they wanted, people to call it the one.
It's
I guess, yeah. Yeah.
it's like calling the Wii U
Because-
the U.
Why not call it the U?
Yeah, I don't see the problem with that.
No, it just sounds. It's the U. I don't know.
They called the last one the Wii.
Yeah, they're not naming geniuses here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably going to the Xbox One because achievements.
Console wars are on.
It's a really fucking shitty reason, but that's the only reason.
They have
It's the only thing it's the only thing that's a tipping point at this point. They're almost identical consoles, and the games might be slightly better on the X-Bone. I still hate that.
I mean,
but
Yeah, me
all
too.
of the trailers we've seen for exclusive games have just been animated cutscenes.
yeah, so that's not even an issue either because we don't know.
Well, I mean, that can be an issue because we don't know. We don't know what it is. We don't know how it would play. Why would you buy
and
something
the only
that you
thing
don't know
that's
about?
actually So the only thing that's actually telling me to buy one of these two consoles is the achievements that I've already got on the 360.
Oh,
So
you mean
that's
they
the only
carry
difference I have.
over, okay. I
Yeah.
was going to say, the PS4 has trophies, so I mean, that's the same thing.
Yeah, I've got like a dozen of those, and they mean absolutely nothing to me because they were implemented so poorly.
Unlike achievements.
Yeah, achievements have a score to them. They have something that you can actually, track.
That
as
means
something
absolutely
overall.
nothing.
It means
Yeah.
absolutely nothing, but you can track it overall as like progress rather than just trophies. They're just, hey, you won this thing.
It's not like I can change my
As opposed to
29,000
achievements,
gamer
which
score
are
into money, though.
basically-
Yeah, so that's not even the point.
Well, I mean, I don't
Changing
know.
it to
I suppose it's
PlayStation
like,
trophies have levels.
oh yay levels.
Yeah.
To what? You can't even track those. Well, you can,
You
but
can.
they still mean like nothing.
None
I
of it
have
means anything.
697 bronze trophies. Fucking whoop-de-doo. What does that... How does that compare to these 79 silver trophies? And it's impossible to track and compare with other people
I don't know.
because you have to be so minute about it and track compared to each and every one of their trophies compared to each and every one of your trophies.
I don't make
it's
it
easier
faster
to
than others.
Like the
But it's
overall
just
trophies
the
you get
fact
in general, like you have a level 14 achievement of getting these trophies. You have enough trophies and all overall to get level 14 or level 20 something or whatever.
That
But
must
it's
be
more
something-
satisfying just to say, I have 56,000 gamer score.
Yeah, I have this big number here. Just saying, I'm level 19.
My
or
dick
something.
is this many inches longer than yours.
I was going to
Yeah.
make that joke, but you beat me to it. Look at how big my penis is.
Yeah, I mean,
You
you
can
compare...
even stand to the left or right from me because if I turn, I just knock off their hats.
Just think every point as 1 centimeter.
Everybody,
There you
everybody better duck because I'm about to turn left and I don't want to hit anyone with my dick.
All right, then, moving past dick jokes for this week.
Okay. Yeah.
I think we should call this episode From Depression to Dick Jokes.
I think we should let me come up with the names. Yeah. Next topic. Superfic.
Oh, yeah.
Care to explain? Because I don't... Yeah.
Superfic. Yeah.
Super
Guilty.
thick, yeah.
He's a super thick. Super thick. Super thick.
Yeah. I think
Right,
we've gone
gonna
over
start
20
this
minutes,
one
so
off.
you're okay, Zero. Don't worry about it. Still, got my eye on you.
I can't
So,
help it. I'm
Superfix.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Superpowered characters. Let's talk about it. Hey, Kenchi.
Yeah.
Got anything to say about superpowered characters? What the fuck is happening to my chat window?
All right. Well, basically, overpowering characters, basically taking what you know about them, like basically their canon level of power, and just hiking it up for the sake of your fic. Giving them abilities they shouldn't have, or otherwise you don't explain why they have
shouldn't,
them.
maybe wouldn't have.
I mean,
is
maybe
more
just
accurate.
basically things you want them to have that they necessarily wouldn't have otherwise. For yeah, like I've done about two, maybe arguably three superpowered fics where I gave like Naruto abilities that he shouldn't have for the sake
I
of
know.
the story or whatever. It's basically
Yes, 3. It is 3.
it's basically giving giving your preferred character powers that they shouldn't have, or you can't really, or you have to explain that they have. If you have to go out of the way, it's powers you have to go out of the way to give your character, just to make them stronger than anyone else they'd probably fight. Making them better than they should be for the sake of the story.
I don't know. My main problem with that kind of thing is that you just have to make sure you balance the superpowers properly, or else they turn into kind of like, well, why didn't you just use your superpowers instead of letting the plot conflict?
Yeah, and
I could have had issues with that, actually. In the Fable fic I was writing, I was going to have the sister, who survived and stuff, I was going to have her use crossbows combined with electricity magic, so it was like a railgun, which is, explainable in-universe, but it would have caused a lot of continuity problems.
Yeah, because,
why not just blow a hole in that opponent, and there you go, it's over.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the Lord of the Rings eagle argument, except it doesn't fall flat.
Yeah, it's
does that one fall flat?
Yes, it does.
That doesn't fall flat.
Yes, it does. Don't you dare bring this up. It falls flat.
It does not fall flat.
It does fucking fall flat.
What are they, hungry?
All right, we're going to have to resolve this first. All right, Ethan, explain your side.
All right, so if they took the eagles and flew over to Mount Doom instead of, having the big war, the orcs would immediately shoot them down.
How low do you think they are to the ground?
We
are talking about flying up to Mount Doom, so they would be at, the height of Mount Doom, at least.
They don't have AA guns.
Also, the Eye of Sauron would notice, so probably evil magic would happen as well. Thereby,
probably evil magic. That's a convincing argument.
It really is.
Well, I'm saying that because Sauron has all of these mystical powers thanks to all of the rings he has. So therefore, he could basically just, like that, off the face of the earth if he knew where they were, instead of having the big war.
Do we actually see Sauron use any mystical powers at all during the course of the story?
No. But he does. He has... It's what he has, and that's what makes it a problem. He has them, therefore... they could be a problem.
I'm satisfied with the way this argument went, so can we get back to the topic?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Everyone be in fear of Sauron's theoretical, mystical superpowers. Okay. So, yeah. Super thick characters, yeah.
Alright, and some of them, like I wrote 2 where I gave Naruto the Rinnegan, and this is before, and I started writing these stories and did this, before Kishimoto started heaping powers onto the Rinnegan and making it more broken than it already was.
It was just control over the elements to begin with, right?
Yeah, at first it was just you had all 5 elements. And then it turned into you can nuke a town with gravity powers. And then it turned into you can pull down 2 meteors and destroy a whole battlefield.
Yeah, that was something.
And then, hey, you can just...
Man, if you thought Mondays were bad...
And that's how that went in my head.
Yeah.
And I was like...
Dennis, that was a badass moment for Oniki.
I mean...
just going up and stopping that meteor. That was great.
Yeah, and then a second one came behind.
Yeah.
Fuck God. That was a great move. Hey, Inoki, that was a great move. How about this one? Try to stop 2.
Can you make it here?
Oh, that was good.
So go ahead. I think it's done anyway.
So super fit characters can happen in canon as well.
Yeah.
That's well established. Yeah, don't think less of yourself for making a super character when the pros, air quotes, do it as well.
Sometimes they can be trees.
This would really segue really well into the next topic, but Zero has something to say, so...
Okay.
So, I have something to say about Superfix, and that's one of my Celestial Suicide Mage, which is Persona and Fairy Tail.
Pretty much a super fic.
It's arguably a super fic.
It's definitely a super fic. It's Minato going to another world at the absolute pinnacle of his powers. He has an item on him that makes him literally invulnerable.
Yeah, but then he loses it.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, he loses it.
then he only has his persona that makes him literally invulnerable.
But then he's weak to almighty attacks, which I'm qualifying as pure magical attacks, which basically most people have.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm basically, I started out with a super character, and I'm basically trying to make him not super.
Wait, how do you lose something that makes you invulnerable? Doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of making it invulnerable?
When he was brought sort of back to life, he had a new body kind of created, and he got a kind of a replica of the original item because it was lost when he sacrificed himself or whatever. So that replica broke.
Oops.
Because he got hit really, really, really hard.
But then that doesn't mean the power would be invulnerable anymore. That means it's just a cheap knockoff.
Kinda.
Yeah, I think that was the point. It wasn't like a superpower, a full-powered object anymore, since it's a replica.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then he got, basically, my goal is to make sure that he starts off super, and I want to make it so that because he's so powerful, everybody else in the world is trying to get stronger so they can beat him.
Oh, so basically the Assassination League.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah, there are ways to make Superfix, interesting anyway, even though the character's so powerful. I mean, power has its own set of challenges that it comes with. And it's up to a writer that's trying to do a Superfic to actually make those seem real and legitimate, rather than just, oh, hey, the people are coming for you because you're so powerful. You won't be able to swat them down because reasons.
What Zero did is the most believable I have ever seen somebody power up the enemies. It's always just hey, they're more powerful now. It's just like as a butterfly effect kind of thing. That's great.
Yeah.
I've been doing time skips in the whole prologue sort of arc until we get to the start of the fairy tale canon. And right near in the first chapter of the fairy tale canon, he gets kind of beaten up. And then the bad guy's like, we'll come back later just to make sure we can kill you for sure next time. And then he's like, well, because they found out, because he does have weaknesses to certain types of attacks, because in the Shin Megami Tensei games, you have certain resistances to, say, water or gravity or psychic type attacks. Well, in the Persona series, those immunities don't exist, so you can't be immune to those types of attacks. So, you can get hit.
Water, earth, and force, I believe, are the ones that...
Gravity, too. So if you were to fight, Blue Note, who uses gravity, he'd pretty much mostly get his butt kicked,
Or Juvia, who uses water.
Yeah.
Same reason.
So I'm basically using those weaknesses and kind of exploiting them. So he's challenged by the fact that he's not immune to everything, and he kind of needs to be able to count on that. Because everybody can exploit his weaknesses pretty much now, because they've been like, oh my gosh, this guy's so powerful, and we want to be the most powerful mage, so I want to destroy him, because in Fairy Tail, everyone wants to.
Yeah. If you're going to give someone superpowers, then you need to give them exploitable weaknesses as well. So there's at least some tension to anything that you're writing.
Yeah, I spent the...
I mean, Superman has kryptonite, for example. Most obvious example.
I spent the S-Class trials. Basically what he did was he basically taught each of his weaknesses to everybody he passed. Or at least one weakness to pretty much everybody, because that was how they had to beat him. They had to find out, his weakness. It's one guy collapsed him under a cave. Another person, I think, shot him with, a laser of magical energy, and, he's like, you pass anyway. Even though he pretty much, got hit with that. Basically, we're kind of finding out his weaknesses. So, if you're going to make a super fic and you're going to make an overpowered character, it makes it more interesting if they have some sort of, glaring weakness that everybody's like, oh, wait, I can just exploit this and try to fight them that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I try to do sometimes. It works in some better than others, but you got to try it anyway. I mean, if you don't, there's no real conflict, so.
It really depends on how you overpower them, yeah.
It's just like, hey, I can swipe aside every single villain that tries to even get in my way. Yay.
Yep.
And that can usually be fine for, a redo time travel fic, but, Peggy Sue, I guess they're called, but I hate that name, so we're sticking with redo.
Yeah. That's
Those
kind of the point
fics
of
are
those
fine.
fics. Just go back. It's basically another version of a fix fic. You go back and fix everything that went wrong. So, yeah.
It can be okay,
Yeah, it's its own thing, so...
Have its own degree of
I guess.
satisfaction.
All right, then.
Okay.
Next topic?
Next topic.
Fic deterioration.
Fic deterioration. Jinx.
I'm faster. Anyway. Right.
Deterioration.
This is when a fic starts to go bad because the reader is getting desperate for attention, I guess, kind of. Because he feels people are losing interest. Or, yeah, the writer, sorry. Feels that readers are losing interest in his fic. So, yeah, they add
or
stuff.
Or he just, wrote himself into a corner and he's trying to figure out a way to force himself back out.
Yeah.
And again, we have canon examples of this kind of thing. Bleach, rather famously, is one of them.
I think
several times over, but yeah.
I think Metal Gear is kind of a real-life example and almost kind of a forced example because, Hideo Kojima didn't want to do anything after Snake Eater, but both his fans and his executives kept being make more. So eventually, his hands got so tied that he had to.
And then he came out with the film Metal Gear Solid 4.
Well, I know how you feel about that game.
I've actually heard that opinion a lot, so I'm not even going to touch that game.
I mean, yeah, there's more. The cutscenes get absurd. The one after you find Ava in Eastern Europe, that one's absurd. It's 45 minutes long of this
Jeez.
I don't know how long it is, but it feels like it's 45 minutes long, and just explaining all the Patriot stuff of why she's leading a resistance and everything. It's just some of it got too much.
Can you actually pause cutscenes in that game?
Yeah, you could pause them and skip them, but
just checking.
Yeah, you can pause them and skip them.
Seems like something you would need in a game like that.
Yeah, thank God they had that. I mean, I watched the whole thing because I love the story. But for people that wanted just to play, it'd be disappointing. The last
it also kind of marks his Hideo Kojima. It kind of marks his sort of a downward spiral he had, kind of how he kind of came to resent the games because people kept asking for them and he couldn't do any more experimental stuff like he used to do.
Yeah.
It's not fun when the creator of something grows to hate it, but they're forced to make more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate and unpleasant. Anyone
have any fic examples of this? Because I've seen them lots, but I can't remember any offhand.
Yeah.
I have one that gets really stupid really fast. And this one's kind of a more childish example, but it's still an example that rings true. And what it is there was this Full Metal Alchemist story that had an interesting idea of what if a fan in Edward Elric had a Freaky Friday flip kind of thing.
I think you mentioned that before.
Yeah, but I don't think I mentioned it on any of the shows that have come into fruition. Yeah. Well, at least that have been, shown on the site, anyway. And it was really, interesting to kind of see this more, this very sort of anxious, shy, wouldn't hurt a fly person in Edward's body, and vice versa, because there was a lot of interesting conflict from the whole thing. But then it got stupid because it turned out that the chimeras were in on the whole thing. And I say it was stupid because the whole thing was inflicted from a spam email. So that has to mean that the chimeras somehow knew the internet existed in this alternate universe and were able to drag someone into it.
And how to make really a spam email, but... Yeah. That raises some questions. A lot of questions.
Yeah, and there's even a really dumb throwaway line where I think Envy goes well, how else am I supposed to do all of my shopping? And it's are you fucking kidding me?
Mm.
Mm.
Could have been handled better. Or, I guess, planned better, or not actually, no, I guess they could get away with not explaining it.
Yeah. That, actually, I would have been looking forward to, because it would have been interesting to have just like it's a mystical force that's there. No explanation, it's just there, because those are always kind of cool.
Let's not exaggerate things a little bit.
Not always, but it's not bad, I guess.
Well, I mean, my personal opinion is that when there's inexplicable elements introduced along with elements that you can pin down, that's when things are kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty much the Star Wars argument.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
why the originals were shit, because they decided midichlorians.
It was the prequel.
Midichlorians.
Well, I mean, Dungeons and Dragons as a world is also a lot like that, because player characters kind of have to make up a lot of stuff along with the pre-existing things to make it work for their specific modules and games they make up on their own. So it gives us a lot of leeway for making our own stories.
Speaking of D&D, one of my friends recently introduced me to it.
What edition?
I don't know. He's really new to it, so he's like, I just want a group of people to start playing. So we are like, okay. So he kind of made a map and everything, and we're working out things.
Cool.
I made a dwarf that was chaotic good. Went off and came and killed people.
Stuff and things.
Our paladin ended up being a total douche, just killing people.
Shocking.
That's not how a paladin works, though.
Yeah, paladins are usually douches for a completely different reason to that.
Yeah, they're more like the Jehovah's Witness of the D&D world. They're not... So
they're literally not allowed to be killing anyone,
they
pretty
lose
much.
all their stat bonuses and stuff if they do anything evil. That's kind of the big deal about it.
Yeah, our assassin ended up being, almost a good guy.
What?
Naturally.
And the paladin just ended up being a douche, and I was just kind of, trying to follow the story as much as I could, while those two just kept running all over the place.
You might want to try and start a looking for group. Honestly.
We're doing another session today. Hopefully it will be better.
Because, I mean, I'm the kind of guy who doesn't like people who are all like, oh, no, you have to do it like this because that's what the rules say. Well, what if you want the story to be interesting, but the rules say you can't do the story like this? I think there's a little leeway in that, but you still need a little grounding, so that way it doesn't get completely batshit.
Oh, it got pretty crazy.
At one point there was this... Sorry.
At one point there was this demon dude that showed up, right? And he's this big, humongous... He's there's just this demon lord dude, right? And the paladin comes up and he just finds this dude reading, and then he's like, hey, what are you reading? And he's like, I'm nothing. Go away. Go back down. And he's like, oh yeah. And he goes up and he punches a guy, and then he gets slaughtered. Just for no reason.
Your paladin is terrible.
No.
It sounds like he wants to be a wizard or a thief. Ask him if he wants to be a wizard or a thief instead.
He was knocked unconscious, and our assassin who wanted to work with the demon just decided to kill him. And I was just downstairs trying to follow whatever strands of plot I could. It was a mess.
It sure sounds like it, yeah.
Hopefully it'll mature over time.
Hopefully the paladin will take things seriously this time.
Oh, are you guys doing
he should play a different character then.
Or you should just kill him and make a new one.
Yeah, just make him a wizard, because it really sounds like he wants to be a wizard.
We thought he was going to be a wizard, but then he ended up choosing paladin because, why not?
I think punching a demon lord is a good why not.
In fairness, punching a demon lord is perfectly in line with paladin behaviors.
Thing is, he ended up rolling like a critical. Ended up hitting the demon lord and actually hurting him, and the demon lord was like, what the heck? And he's like, you scratched me, and then he just destroyed him. It was actually
That's
pretty
great.
funny.
So it goes.
Well, I mean, the first few D&D games are always going to be the worst.
I guess so.
I don't know. Ours went pretty well, but we were doing Fallout Equestria stuff. But so we kind of wrote our own story there.
Yeah. But I mean, like, just the people who don't have enough experience to be able to, like, really understand how the game, like, how to necessarily play the game as a role-playing adventure kind of thing.
That's definitely a switch. It's something you got to get used to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're massively off topic, and we're at 1 hour 15. So,
Right.
shall we move on to the next topic?
Yes.
And that's
Your favorite.
He already
This
talked
seems-
about it.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Moving on,
Then
recommendations.
again, you got to do the cooking by the book.
Yeah.
All right, but if we
Hey,
do that,
everyone
you
in
have
this
to talk
chat.
about my Shining Time Station video as well.
Anyway, recommendations. Yeah, okay. Recommendations, and then we got questions. So,
How about we do questions first? Because I always like ending out with recommendations.
okay, if you really, really want to, but that means I've got to pull them up. Okay. We got one question in a comment on the Blogspot page from Greg Hensley, who asks, what are your all-time favourite fics? Well, you see, we're doing this segment called Recommendations. We've done this for a couple of weeks now. Those.
That's more of what we're currently reading, though. Like, all time, I'd have a different one.
Yeah, same here.
Alright. Do you want to mention, then?
Yeah, sure. One that I can think of offhand would be Naruto Game of the Year Edition. There's a link.
But yeah, okay.
It doesn't update nearly enough, and it has some plot holes, but it's an enjoyable read.
I read that one.
Yeah. It got a lot better after a while. The very, very beginning, it was pretty meh. But considering I've wrote a fic literally based on it, then I can't,
You have no
insult it
room
too
to
much.
talk.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyone else?
I'll go.
Favorites?
I've kind of brought this up before, but like I said, like once again, it also hasn't been brought up in anything that has seen the light of day. But I probably would say my favorite one, just because it sticks with me so personally, would probably be this pretty famous Ouran High School Host Club fanfic called In the Circle of Elemental Arms.
Oh, yeah.
And
Chris's thing, yeah.
Yeah. And what it is, we even had the author on in the very first episode, but what this fic is what would the world of Ouran High School be like if everyone was magic?
Is that supposed to be a selling point? Okay, whatever.
Magic.
I mean, it's if you actually read it's really good because
we've talked about it before on the podcast. So yeah,
but yeah,
go back and listen to the first episode if you really, really want to hear
that one's my favorite, just because it was the one that kind of insinuated basically the spark that drives me to write stories as a whole.
I got the magic in me.
It's a kind of magic.
They have a cream
Ethan,
for that.
Ethan, speaking of random magic and fics, when are you gonna put up that chapter for Persona Overclocked?
Like I told you, can we not talk about that on the podcast, please? Because
Okay.
What are you growling for? No talking about backstage stuff on the podcast. Jesus.
yeah.
Right.
It's kind of
Anyone else got stuff?
Uh,
Recommendations? Super recommendations, I guess we can call it.
Super recommendations.
what does that
How's
mean?
that?
Well, I still have my regular recommendation left, but
Yeah, your absolute favorites, I guess.
Okay, my absolute favorite. Let's see. The story that actually made me start writing is Naruto Rogue Fox by this guy named Axe Gnome. And he stopped writing it like months ago and actually officially abandoned it in like August. But it's really good. I I'd suggest you look at it. Like, it's not. Well, it's just good. I like it.
Is it rereadable though? A lot of old fics are like you just don't want to look at them.
I think so. So
My recommendations, though, I think most of them would end up being Kenchi's stories, because Kenchi, man, you're one of the driving forces in getting me to write, so.
sweet squee.
That sounds so wrong coming from your voice.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I did it.
Yeah, it's because the only other story I could think of that wouldn't be one of Kenchi's stories would be the Fairly English story by Sam Jazz. That was one of the first fics I ever read.
That's a good
way
one.
back when.
Hold on. Feed my ego. If my stories are what you'd qualify as the best, which one is it?
Well,
Feed my ego.
what I really liked reading about your. I have to think of the specific ones that really got to me. I really liked the One Piece and Naruto one and the Bleach Naruto ones. I really liked.
Basically the superpower ones.
Yeah, I liked them.
Go figure.
That's what I liked. Sealed Kunai. Yeah, that was something I read.
All right.
I liked that one. Gosh, I can just Better Left Unsaid. That was a good one.
I kind of have another one I want to bring up, and I'd probably say, I just want to say, like, I have reasons for this one as well, and it is this one called Face Every Shadow. If you guys have ever heard of that one.
Bite me, Ethan.
No, I'm serious. It's actually a really good one, dude. It was. I mean, I wouldn't be writing for it if I didn't think it was a good one.
Anyway, so since we still have actual recommendations to do after this, we'll leave it there. Thanks, that guy. We're never going to answer that question again, even though we're probably going to get it dozens of times.
We'll just point to this episode.
CMC Wiki, again on the Blogspot page, asks, I want to know if there are any fandoms that you guys want to write for or would be interested in, but are invested in other projects.
That's just kind of the vein of any author, really.
Yeah.
Like, me and Zero just, keep repeatedly talking about this Dragon Ball fic, and I would have written it by now if he hadn't called dibs on it. So
it's his idea.
Yeah, pretty much. And he sold me on the idea and made me want to write it, but it was his, so I basically allowed him to start on it. And by allowed, I mean verbally threatened that I'm going to steal your idea or the basis of your idea if you don't start it, because I want to read it.
You're having
I want to read it too. I want to read it too because I got so many ideas for it now that I've actually started writing it. You know.
Yeah.
For me, once I get the first chapter down, that's when the rest of the ideas come. Yeah.
And another fandom I want to try and start writing for is Infamous. I like that game.
Yeah. I would definitely read that. I mean, I didn't play the second one, and I'm probably not going to because you die at the end. So, yeah. I hate that ending. I just despise it.
You die if you're a good guy.
Yeah, I am a good guy, though.
You're a bad guy, you take over the world. You destroy the world.
The bad guy is the second playthrough. The good guy is always the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I suppose
anyone else?
I'd say the fandom I would probably want to write for the most would probably be like a two-way tie between Persona and Soul Eater, and that's just because, and the only reason I can't do it is just because I can't think of any good questions I'd want answered from them, because they're both pretty tight overall when as it comes to story. And I just can't think of anything that I'd want to speculate on that hasn't already been written about in both like the canon and the fan fiction as well.
Yeah. All right. Mine, I have two. One is Pokemon, because I've wanted to write that fic for so long and I'm never going to get around to it because I suck. The other one would be Fable. And I had a fic idea that I was going to try and write. It did not go very well. I tried and failed miserably and then thought, okay, I've got other stuff to do anyway. And had to give up on it.
For it.
It was the one I sent you that was like barely anything, and I got so very stuck on it in the first 300 words.
Yeah, I've long since forgotten that. If it's only 300 words.
Exactly. So, yeah, that almost happened but didn't. It's unfortunate, because Fable's kind of underappreciated when it comes to fan fiction. But, that's how it goes. Anyone else?
Sonic, actually. The Sonic fandom. I'd like to get into that, but it's got... I would need to have more of a grasp on the canon. Mm-hmm. And that would take a while.
Arguable.
Okay,
no one has a grasp on the
would
canon.
like to get a grasp on the canon. You don't need to. It would just... I wouldn't feel
Okay, well,
right.
you see, this one time, this princess made out with Sonic, even though he's a hedgehog, and at the time was a corpse, in order to bring him back to life.
Just go with the Sonic Adventure franchise.
Okay, well, this one time, you see, there was this girl, and she had a crush on this, bioengineered hedgehog, and she died saving his life because reasons.
Don't even get us
he
started on the comics.
I don't think there was any real romance there, though. At least not with the girl.
Yeah, I know. I'm just playing it up, but still.
I thought I always saw him as like brother and sister kind of thing.
Yeah, like Maria was like his only like real family aside from the Doctor, and the Doctor died. And he saw Maria get gunned down in front of him. Down.
Well, the Doctor didn't die. He was taken hostage, and then just kind of went crazy.
He was taken hostage and then went insane, and then his only other family member was gunned down in front of him. So, kind of traumatic.
Mm-hmm. Just a little bit.
Yeah. He didn't die gently. That was like 3 guys with full-on MP5.
That's actually a good question. Yeah. Why did they shoot her? Why did they shoot her and not Gerald?
Because she was in the way in front of Shadow, I think.
She was like 8 and sickly. Like 8 and sick.
Yeah, you could just push her aside. Just like,
Oh, man. That scene was the very definition of overkill.
Yeah. Anyway. So, is that everyone's answers? Has anyone not answered?
I haven't answered.
Okay.
Things I'd like to write for. There's a lot, actually. I've wanted to get into, some of the big shonen ones for a while. So I just started with the Dragon Ball Z one, but there's also, Bleach. I tried doing the One Piece thing. Didn't really work out so well. Might do another one.
Don't do Bleach. Don't do it. Just tell him now.
Why not?
Don't do it.
It's not worth it.
That's my territory, man.
No, I mean, it's not. He's right. It's not worth it. Like,
it's really not.
Okay.
I tried to. It's not. No, don't bother.
Another thing probably is Harry Potter. Might get into that one because
that's a good one. There's a lot to work with in that one.
There is a lot of potential, especially with I could do a Persona Harry Potter crossover. That was actually one of the options for my poll I did a while back for the next story I was going to do.
Surprised it didn't win.
Unfortunately, it was the thing that did win was the Persona Sekirei one, which is the one with the harem manga.
Of course.
Anime.
Of course.
I shouldn't have put that up as an option because I kind of wanted to do that Harry Potter one where basically, they take Minato as a kid after he gets the whole death sealed inside of him after the end of Persona 3 and transfer him to Hogwarts, shortly after, keep him under wizard protection because he has death inside him.
Is that going to be during Harry's years or like before? Or?
Probably like...
yeah, you'd have to fudge the schedule a bit there.
Fudge the timeline a little bit.
Because Minato had death sealed him in 1999, and that was after the entire events of the story.
That was one of the problems I had with it, is I'd have to think of some way to creatively mess with that. Which,
or you could just hand wave it. I mean, everyone does it.
Yeah. Harry Potter events happened 10 years later than in canon. There you go. Yeah. Wait, 10 year might not be enough.
It's like
10 years, probably right.
Whatever.
It could.
I think 10 year would do it.
Could happen.
I think you should just write, why should you care, because I'm putting magic and personas in the same story.
Yeah.
There you go.
Another thing I was thinking of was Pokemon. I think I mentioned once the idea of doing a Pokemon fic with personas as the new Pokemon.
Yeah, you did. That would be weird.
It would be so weird. But even if I don't do that crossover, I'd still like to write Pokemon, because I know
Mara
Pokemon.
would be a legendary.
I just had this one idea for like a one-shot Pokemon kind of thing where it was like...
Hang on, I just want to clarify for Kenchi's sake, Mara is a giant penis riding in a chariot.
With tentacles, because why not?
Yeah.
How else would you
Fertility god, man. Fertility god.
Anyway, I kind of had this one idea for like a Pokemon one-shot where it was like, okay, so every kid in the world basically becomes a Pokemon trainer. What if, due to oversaturation of trainers, we physically caught every Pokemon in the world?
That would be
and my answer would still be so. So they're all caught. That means we have to breed them ourselves.
I don't think they would all be caught. You know why?
Why?
Because Pokemon kill people.
What?
You're sending a whole bunch of 10-year-olds out there, and you have Pokemon that can steal away children, grabbing their hands. You get a Pokemon that can steal their souls if they just look at it the wrong way. You have Pokemon that just slaughter mass amounts of things. It's
children that turn into Pokemon.
Yeah,
children. You actually read Abra and Kadabra's Pokedex entry? That's what happens.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's really dangerous for children to go out there into the world.
That actually
really
would be even more interesting, like failed trainers.
That'd be a really good fic if you were to write about a sort of realistic Pokemon world where people just die all the time because of Pokemon.
Yeah, I've seen someone that actually did a one-shot for that. It was in like one of those, the fics that basically just, here's all of my little ideas I'm not going to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a chapter in one of those, and it was like, trainers are just there to make sure that the Pokemon population is kept down and controlled.
That's a good idea. Why hasn't he done anything with that?
I'm going to take that and destroy it.
Write more, Kenchi. Write more.
It's an amazing idea, and I really wish he'd done something with it, or someone had. But, yeah.
Hey,
if someone wants to do something with that, more power to you. I want to read that fic.
Kenchi,
can't
have you
see me,
heard
but
about
I'm
the whole
raising
Krillin
my
fic? If you've heard about not writing the whole Krillin fic, you should write that.
I'm going to. I need something to take my mind off of not writing the Krillin fic that's eating away my soul.
What was it called? There was this Pokemon fic that really did that realistic thing well, and I don't know what it was called, but I got turned off because Misty was like secretly a member of Team Rocket, or used to be, and then she died, and I don't know. I was still a Misty fan at that point, so I didn't like it.
Nothing wrong with Misty. I like Misty.
I'm friends with somebody who doesn't like her a lot, so it kind of bled over.
Yeah, I'm aware. Jordanio is still a dick.
Yeah, a little bit. He has his moments, that's for sure. But Legend of Zelda. I would also like to get into that fandom. I already love the games, but I don't know if I could write something for it.
That'd be actually pretty awesome. Writing Zelda.
I understand there is some stuff that you could work with in that fandom, so yeah.
There's plenty of
game you choose.
It's like, what do you have Link talk, or does he just talk in like noises, and everybody just
keep
can
him
understand
silent, make him only tell
reason.
everybody his name, because that's apparently what happens.
Yeah.
Or you could look at the manga Legend of Zelda for inspiration.
Well, I mean,
there's a manga.
Yeah, there's a manga where he does talk, but it fits his character, I guess. He has a sort of a character he can work with.
There's manga adaptations for a lot of the games.
Yeah, for most of the games. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask.
Used to be a Mario comic. It was apparently quite good.
Yeah, it was, like the Nintendo Power one. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But to kind of give you guys some ideas for some Legend of Zelda stuff, if that's what if you feel like you're needing just a little push, there's this one I read recently that I can't remember the name of, but basically the idea was Princess Zelda became aware of like the timeline curse that like Link and Ganon were destined to fight for the Triforce, and she was destined to be captured. So as was her name, Princess Zelda of Hyrule, and basically she stood up and said no, and ran away when Ganon overthrew the castle, so she could try and figure out a way to break the curse with Link.
Not be the damsel.
Yeah. And it was really good, if a bit short.
I might look at that. Speaking of looking at stuff, I read Embers, and it's fucking great, by the way.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It is.
Which one is that?
That's Avatar.
Last week.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That is a good story. A lot of thought went into it, I imagine. And a lot of research at that.
I think we have enough recommendations that we don't have to do the recommendations section of our fic.
I haven't recommended anything.
We just recommended like tons of fics in this section right here.
I've still got one, so I'd like to just do that anyway.
We've got one more question, and then we're done. It's Ghost something. I can't find his name. his name's Numbers. It's the fellow from like the first question we ever got. Ghost132435 asks, what are your top 5 most saddest moments in anime? We're not going to do 5 because that'd take ages for all of us to do 5.
Let's just each do one.
Yeah, just 1 or 2, I suppose, yeah. Just pick a couple.
God, what is it called?
I have one.
I got one too.
Angel Beats. Very end.
Oh, you called it. That's mine.
You kind of took mine.
All right, which one specifically?
Because I haven't watched a lot of anime that have been necessarily sad.
That one moment where like him and I don't want to say any spoilers, but him and the girl at the end.
Oh, the ending. Okay, yeah.
That one moment, like when she tells him like the truth type thing of why she was there, and like every friend that I ever showed that anime to cried at that ending. Like
I'd actually say like
tears in our eyes. And...
I think the saddest part for me from that anime would actually be the girl who was paralyzed in her past life.
Damn it, that one was mine.
Like, this isn't mine. I'm just saying this is the one I felt was really sad. So that friend of his like gave her this whole speculative life of what if they dated, and it was like,
oh man,
my heart.
Oh, that one really killed me too. I forgot about that.
Like, I almost wrote a one-shot about, like, their life just because I felt like I wanted closure.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do
who
have
else
really
wants to go?
That scene did.
Who else wants to go? Anyone?
I guess, like, the Cowboy Bebop made me sad. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Are you talking about Valentine's backstory?
No, I mean, like, the whole thing, like, the last few episodes just bummed me out. Like, it's super good, but I don't really get sad watching anime, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I was too young to have that emotional effect by that. It was all just... And I didn't watch them in one shot. It was just reruns on Adult Swim at that point.
I think I'd say one of the saddest moments I saw might have been... in Gurren Lagann when they revealed what Nia actually was.
I didn't like that for how weird it was.
Yeah, I didn't like
it
it because it was a downer.
I'm kind of grasping for straws, honestly, because I don't really get sad at anime either because I watch a lot of action-heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've got a couple. One, actually, from Kingdom, when I watched it. The very end of the first season, you'll know it when you see it. But yeah, that kind of got me. It was good. It's a good show.
Oh wait, actually, can I just say all of Attack on Titan?
No.
Oh, that's
you
a
can't.
good one as well.
Oh,
Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan Abridged. TFS.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
Felt like mentioning that
that's
they started Attack on Titan.
Anime.
Now I don't have to watch canon Attack on Titan because I have the abridged series, and then I can just say
No, you do have to
it.
watch
You have to
canon
watch
Attack on Titan.
dude.
I don't actually. See, I cannot watch the canon series after I've watched the abridged because I keep thinking how much better the abridged series is.
You can't watch anything original content after you watch the abridged first because you can't.
That doesn't count in this case.
Yes,
it's
this
a completely
is the one
different
trump
thing.
card. You have to watch Attack on Titan.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Not unless it gets an actual ending.
Okay, then you're a bitch.
Yeah.
I'm just calling it. You're a fucking bitch for not wanting to watch it because you're scared.
Yeah.
No, I would like an ending. I do not want to end on a cliffhanger and just bleh. That's stupid.
It's not done yet, though. There's more.
I know. I'm not going to watch it until it's over. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, then just watch the series and then don't wait for the button after the credits, and then you're sorted.
Don't watch the what?
The bit at the end, after the credits.
Oh, the stinger hook, yeah.
Yeah. Don't watch that, and then you don't have a cliffhanger.
Right.
You're sorted.
Speaking of stinger hooks...
Until the next season comes out, you know?
Yeah, speaking of stinger hooks, do not play Saints Row and not save at the end. The ending is you die. So, I lost 4 hours worth of progress because I didn't save before the final mission. But I'm not going to play the game again, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. I'm going to go back to saying what I was saying. A couple of others. Both from One Piece, actually. Go figure. One is the sinking of the Going Merry, which was surprisingly sad for a ship dying. And I do mean dying. That it got really weird, but it still got me somehow. But and the other one would be towards the end of Nami's arc, where she finds out that Arlong was going to screw her from the start, and she's crying, sitting in the street and stabbing herself in the arm where the tattoo is, and that got me as well. That's about it.
All right, then.
I have to admit, this really isn't helping my depression from this week overall, just talking about people being sad.
Yeah, sorry about that. Didn't really think. Whoops.
Yeah, it's okay. No one ever thinks about me anyway. Oops, did I say that out loud?
Recommendations, we'll close on that, because apparently we have to close on that, even though we've done questions last before.
Alright, let me go first since I'm low on time. Alright, I don't have a fan fiction recommendation since we already done like 18 million of them today, but I have a recommendation in general. Read a book written by Forrest Griffin. He's written 2. The first one is called Got Fight, The 50 Zen Principles of Hand-to-Face Combat. The second one is Be Ready When the Shit Goes Down, A Survival Guide to the Apocalypse. The first one just spoofs self-help books. The second one is a spoof of survival guides, and they're both amazing. And I
think I'm sold from titles alone.
That sounds pretty funny.
The first 12 pages of either book will sell you, no matter what. You will be hooked after the first 12 pages. It's not even a part of the actual book. And that's mine.
Thank you for this, Zero. Fucking idiots.
I put a little link in the chat for all our listeners to cheer people up.
What's it?
Cow.mov. I don't know what
that is. So my brother
is,
uses after he watches something scary to heal himself.
It's safe for work, and it's stupid as hell, but still.
You can't watch this and not be happy.
Alright, fine. I'm going to watch it then, if everyone else is, since we're kind of halting the podcast for it.
Yep.
And I'll wait for it to pull up.
I'm going to throw my shoes on.
Okay.
Have you guys seen that Late for Business animated short thing that has come up?
No, have you seen this video? It's Lazy Town mashed up with Little John, and it's really funny. Okay. What were we doing? Recommendations. That's what we were doing. Who's next? Slicer, you had another one, yes?
Right. This might not be for everyone, but it's a crossover of Harry Potter and My Little Pony, and it's handled pretty well. It's The Wizard and the Lonely Princess.
Wait, what?
The Wizard and the Lonely Princess. It's, I don't know, you can laugh at it if you want, but it's actually pretty good.
I mean, I'm not, because I respect bronies, but it's just, it's kind of interesting.
Princess, you little thing. There's a wizard here for you.
There's a problem with My Little Pony fics in that they are inherently crack fics, and they're always looked at like that, no matter what they are.
That or horse porn.
Yeah, or that.
Flop.
Yeah, and there's a name for it. Thank you, Slicer.
Yeah, we have names for everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Moving on, Casey.
Anyone else got any recommendations before I just throw out mine?
I do.
I love that.
I have a video game to recommend for people, and it's kind of and it goes back a few years, but it is really hilarious, and it is this video game called 50 Cent: Blood on the Sand.
Oh God.
Yeah. Bitch, got my skull.
I remember that game.
It is one of the funniest games I have ever played.
Thank you for
so dumb.
That.
It is so dumb.
You are my friend forever for reminding me of that game.
For those who are unaware, 50 Cent Blood on the Sand is this video game that came out for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3.
It's a sequel. We've got to remind people that it's a sequel.
It's a spiritual sequel to a shitty game.
Yeah. It's 50 Cent and his bros fighting terrorists in Afghanistan, I believe.
This is my recommendation. I get to say it. And
okay, sorry.
It's basically this video game starring 50 Cent as the main character, and how he gets a magic diamond-encrusted skull for doing a concert in Afghanistan until it is stolen, and then it just keeps getting stolen, and 50 Cent will not leave until Afghanistan until he gets his skull back.
Because this bitch got his skull.
It's his skull. No one takes his skull. He's 50 Cent.
I love you so much right now.
Yeah.
What on that head?
That existed.
Oh.
And I mean, like, if you actually play the game, it's also hilarious because 50 Cent is kind of immortal. Like, he can take 3 rockets to the chest and survive.
Hey, he got shot 9 times in real life.
He's 50 Cent. What do you expect?
Yo, 50! Jump off that big-ass ramp!
Yo, 50! 50!
50! And it's just like... And there's also, like, the 50 dimension, where he will take guys if he is assaulted by more than 2. You know, where he goes into, like, that blank void where he just beats up people.
What is it? That it's reality marble or something?
Kind of. But it's the 50 zone.
Right.
Yo, 50! Put him in the 50 zone!
Yeah, man.
Right.
And you fight, like, 5 helicopters.
Oh, yeah. 50 Cent fucking hates helicopters, I swear.
Hey, what are you talking about? Helicopter.
Did that helicopter take my skull?
And he killed that helicopter and got my skull.
I don't know. I think the guy from Indigo Prophecy beats him.
It's the new Did You Kill Rita? Did you take my skull?
It's the second most absurd game. It's like the only game that rivals its absurdity is that Matt Hazard game.
Yeah. But I mean, like, 50 Cent is one of the few games I know of. It's the only game I know of with a dedicated swear button.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, I think Matt Hazard was intentional in being ridiculous. 50 Cent Blood on the Sand might have been, genuine in trying to... I don't even know what it was trying to do. But
it was trying to be a serious game, but...
Yeah.
And it's also funny to have, like, serious voice actors trying to have a serious story, and then just 50 Cent...
About 50 Cent fighting terrorists to get back his skull.
And then just
some bitch skull.
No, I'm just talking about, like, when they're having a normal, like, serious, angsty conversation, and then 50 Cent swaggers out of nowhere and starts just swearing up a storm about his skull.
I think it was like they were gathered around the table and they were thinking about this game, and 50 Cent was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get my skull back. What are you gonna do? I'm just gonna kill everything. Okay.
So that was a nice interlude.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
No problem.
That was
this is
nicely done.
This has cheered me up, actually. I feel a lot better now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good shout.
All
right.
So we wrapping up now, or do we have...
just my last recommendation, and then we're wrapping up. All right. My fic recommendation is Letters from the Asylum. It's a Harry Potter fic. It's pretty short, I think. It's basically Harry is getting increasingly pissed off with the communications blackout after 5th year, I think it is.
Yep.
And starts just, teenage rebellion through letters. He starts writing to Voldemort because the Order of the Phoenix won't respond to him anymore.
And they actually get through, unlike the other
yeah.
that does that.
Oh, and it's a funny read and good stuff. So
I recommend
that.
So woohoo, go me!
Yay! It's a good story. All right. And with that said, thank you for once again listening to the Fandom Flux podcast. This was episode 11. If you wish to get in touch with us, you can do so through the Blogspot page, the comments, or you can get through to us through our personal Twitters or the Fandom Flux Twitter at Fandom Flux. Finally, you could get through to us on the private message feature on fanfiction.net through our own personal profiles. Thanks for listening.
Thank
Bye
you.
now.
See you.
And we're out.
Bye.